Hi guys, today we'll talk about one more interesting problem from Blind 75 series, which is valid palindrome. And one more good news, we just finished our array and hashing concept from the Blind 75 series. From today onwards, we'll talk about two pointer, and we have three problem from this, and you can just apply this pattern in every other problem also. So without wasting much time, we'll see what the question asks you to do. You will be given a string and you just need to ignore all the non-alphanumerical. Again, non-alphanumerical. First, let's see what is alphanumerical. Alphanumerical is nothing but alphabets plus numerical value. Alphabets plus numerical value are called as alphanumerical characters, which means from A to Z and small a to Z and 0 to 9. These only characters are said to be alphanumerical. All other remaining things are non-alphanumerical. If you see in this line, this is non-alphanumerical. This is different symbol. Again, this is also non-alphanumerical. This is also non-alphanumerical. Again, the spaces, you can see there is space in between this thing. These are also are non-alphanumerical character. So what the question will tell is, question asks you to do is just ignore all this non-alphanumerical character, and you can ignore the cases also. You can see here we have capital letter, we have small letter. So you can ignore the all cases, alphanumerical, non-alphanumerical character, and if you ignore all these things, and after looking at the string, you have to tell whether this is a valid palindrome or not. Again, if you ignore all the if you ignore all the non-alphanumerical character spaces, and if you just change to lowercase, the string will look like this. Now, if you see the string from left to right and right to left, it's going to be exactly similar. I can just show you A, and M is here, and M is here, and A is here, A is here, N is here, N is here. If you just strike out, everything will be similar. And at the middle point, we have letter C. So this is an valid palindrome. But if you look at this string, it does not make any valid palindrome after removing all these cases. It will be like this. But if you see R and R are same, A and A are same, C and C are same, and in the middle point, it doesn't satisfy the palindrome condition. And again, you can see from right to left, left to right, it doesn't look similarly. So this is not a valid palindrome. That's why we return false and we return true for this case. Just see from left to right and right to left. If they both look same, then it's a valid palindrome. If not, it's not a valid palindrome. So now we'll talk about the better solution, which will be time complexity of O of n and space of O of 1. So I like to implement if is alphanumerical function. I don't think so. Other language as, but in Python we have built-in function which will just tell whether the character is alphanumerical or not. So for that case, what I'm going to do is let's write the pseudocode for alphanumerical characters. How to check whether the character is alphanumerical or not. We can directly write function name is alnum. Let's have this, and we'll have character as the input. Now what we'll do is we'll just check if character is between from capital A, let's say less than or equal to capital A, and sorry, it should be greater than or equal to capital A and less than or equal to capital Z. This is one case, right? And what will be another case? Or it can be from small a to capital, sorry, small z. And what is one more case for alphanumerical? It can be from 0 to 9. These are the only three cases which tells the number of given character is alphanumerical or not. Let's say capital A comes in. So it will just pass and we can directly return true. If not, we can directly return false. So remember to implement this function in your own language, preferred language. Let's start our better solution. We can have a new string which can be empty, and we just iterate every character from the sentence. For character in sentence, and we can check if character. You remember we just created an helper function, we can use it. Is al num. If the current character is alphanumerical, we can directly add this to a new string, right? New string plus equal to character. So again, this for loop will just end. At last, what we can do is we can directly return sentence is equal to reverse. You can directly reverse the string new dot reverse. So what this line tells is sentence will be like looking from right to the left, and if we just reverse, so what is the reverse direction from left to right? It will be right to left, right? That's what this gives. So you will look from left to right. If both the things are equal, we can tell it is a palindrome. If not, it's not a palindrome. It's not a palindrome. We can directly tell false. That's what this line does. And if we talk about the complexity, time is going to be O of n, because we just iterate every character only once. And if we talk about space, it's going to be technically of 2 of n, because we're just creating a new string. That's why it's O of 1. And in optimal solution, we just remove the space. We can just make it of 1. We'll see how this is possible. That's where two pointer comes into the play. We can use two pointer, and we can just keep one end from this side, one end at this side. We can just compare whether these two characters are same or not. If it's same, just move them, and just move them, and just move them. And if they if they met at the middle element, we can tell that it is a valid palindrome. If you look at this example, where is the example? Yeah, if you look at this example, if you remove all this non-numerical places, and you will meet at this exact position. This is our middle point. If the two pointer met at the middle, we can tell it is an valid palindrome without using any extra space. We won't create any extra string like this. So we can directly have two pointer at starting and ending. Just compare them. If they're both equal, just move them. Compare, move. This is a basic idea of it. Now let's directly write the pseudocode for it. I don't want to waste much time and giving explanation, because it's a very easy problem. We want to start writing pseudocode. We'll start left is going to be 0 and right is going to be n minus 1. N is nothing but the length of a string. The while loop goes till left is less than or equal to right. Now if you remember, we are not using any space. So how you can skip the non-alphanumerical, for example comma space, how you can skip it. For that, what you can do is we can write one more for loop while left is less than right. This is for out of bounds case, and not of alphanumerical. You can just pass string of left. We are eliminating left side spaces and the non-alphanumerical character. If this condition is true, then we can just increment left plus plus. Again, if you don't understand, let me explain it. If you're just standing at this position, you will be standing at this position, right? You will be standing at this position. Now this both are same, so we'll just move the pointer here. This is what? This is a blank space. This is a non-alphanumerical character, so we need to skip it. We need to skip only the left side, right? That's what this code does. Don't worry, we'll write for this case also. So what will happen if I come here? For that also we'll write the code. That's what this code does. We just check for out of bounds case, and if the character is non-alphanumerical, we can just skip this element. We can skip this index. We can just move. And again, we have to do the similar thing for the right side also. The same out of bounds case, and instead of this, we use right. That's the only difference here. Right will be decrement by 1, will not increment, because we'll move backward, so it should be decrement. And if all these things are working fine, now we'll see one more case. If s of left dot lower, and if you remember, the question asks you to ignore the case, so we just convert to the lower case. And if you don't want to do this, what we can do is we can directly do s is going to be s dot lower. In Python it is lower, in some language it will be 2 lower. you can directly modify the current string. So we can just what to tell, we can we don't want to write some extra things here. What you can do is, if s of left is not equal to s of right, at this case you just need to return false, because if the two pointer doesn't match, it cannot be a valid palindrome, right? So we can directly return false over here, and as we talked, if everything is successful, we just increase left one time and decrement right one time. So left is going to be increased one time and right is going to be decreased one time, and at last we just return true. This is a very simple solution. And if I want to talk about complexity, the same as before, but now space is going to be of 1. We are not using any extra space. We're just using two pointer. One will be at the start and end. We just compare it. We just keep on moving it. And if something is not same, we just return false, because it's not a valid palindrome. And if this loop executed successfully, and we can tell that it's a valid palindrome. Now without wasting much time, let's code this up. Now let's convert the given string to the lowercase, because if we see in this question, they tell us to ignore the cases after converting all uppercase into lowercase. They're just given like this, and remove all non-alphanumeric character. If it's read same from front till the back, then it is said to be palindrome. That's what given in question. So we can directly convert this to the lowercase s dot lower. In Python, we have something called lower method, which will convert entire string to the lowercase. Now, as we discussed, we have two pointers. One will be at the start, one will be at the end of the string. And we'll run the loop until left is less than or right, and skip. As I said, in Python, we have this method. So I'm not going to code this up. While left is less than right, and we just skip the left pointer. Again, we have to do same for the right one. So I just copy the code and just change the character left and just decrement this to the one position. Now again, this is one more case which checks if left is not equal to right. If it's not equal, we can directly return false over here. If not, just increment left to the 1 and decrement right to the 1. And we can at last return true, which is the last case. Now let's run this test case. Oh, sorry. It should be not right. I'm one idiot. We need to skip the all non-alphanumerical, but this will tell only alphanumerical or not current character. So I'm an idiot. I'm just skipping the alphanumerical character, but we should skip non-alphanumerical characters. So for what we can do is, we can just negate the condition. For example, if comma is going to this method, this will return false. So we can just negate false over to true, which tells that it is a non-alphanumerical character. So just skip it. That's why I put not over here, which will just negate the result. Now we just pass the test cases. Now we'll just submit and see whether it get accepted or not. Yeah, our code just passed all the test cases 486, and we took 9 ms.